Now I'm going to show you a picture. Please describe what you can see. You have 30 seconds.
In this picture, we can see in the immediate foreground a fire engine, and beyond this fire engine, we can see the stair trucks used in the airport to let the passenger get on a plane, and in the and beyond the stairs, we can see an Airbus A320 that has a blue stripe and a green stripe. And
okay, thank you. Now look at the second picture. I'd like to ask you some questions about picture B.
Okay.
What is the passenger doing?
The passenger are being evacuated from the airplane.
What type of situation is this?
This is an emergency. I think that is an emergency because on the ground we can see many firefighters that are waiting for the passengers to rescue them.
What do you think will happen next?
I think that the passenger will be rescued by these firefighters, and maybe in cases of worst disease, they will be brought to an hospital.
Both of the pictures show emergency training situations. What are the main differences between them?
In both pictures, we can see a simulated evacuation. The differences are that in the first picture we can see that they used stairs, and in the second picture they used I don't remember the name, a faster way of evacuating the passengers. In the first picture, we can see many firefighters, but only pilots and the flight attendants. Whereas in the second picture, we can see 4 firefighters that are waiting for the passenger.
What's the same about them?
Both airplanes are painted mostly of white, and both airplane,
In your opinion, which situation looks more serious?
I think that is more serious the second situation, because they don't use the stairs, and they used a faster way to evacuate the airplane.
Let's consider emergency situations in general. When is a situation an emergency situation?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, so when is a situation an emergency situation?
When something that is a non-routine situation happen.
So are all non-routine situations emergencies?
All the emergency are non-routine situation, but not every non-routine situation are emergency.
So when does it become an emergency then?
When you are risking when the safety of a flight is in danger, and you cannot provide for a safe flight.
Which emergency situations should passengers be most worried about, do you think?
Maybe during a depressurization of the cabin, because the depressurization of the cabin is an episode you can understand that something hit the airplane, and maybe there is a hole in the airplane, and the structure of the airplane is no more efficient.
Do you think that if you experience this, then you should be worried?
Yeah, I will. I don't know, because, for example, if I am a passenger, maybe I'm I worried more than if I would be a pilot.
Why?
Because if I am a pilot, I can manage the situation and I know what I'm doing. And if someone that I don't know manage the situation, I'm not sure of what they are doing.
Mm-hmm. People hear or see a lot more about emergency situations on television these days. What would you say to people who are worried about flying?
I think that flight, catching an aircraft is the safest thing in the world. Also because we can see that in last years only one or 2 or 3 accidents happen, and instead, whereas in, for example, every Saturday night and every week, many accidents happen in the roads and in the highway, and the same also for the rail and if you catch a bus.
Why is it so safe?
Because after every accident in the history of the aviation, the inspectors find out what were the reason of that accident, and they introduced new rules to avoid a repetition of this accident.
Let's think about depressurization again. What can cause depressurization? Depressurization can be caused by an object that hits the airplanes, and maybe it broke a part of the fuselage, or maybe one of the door is not well closed, so you will lose some pressure inside the cabin, and something and other causes. How is this different to other emergency situations?
During a depressurization, you must descend rapidly, because the airplanes fly at an altitude of 30,000 or 40,000 feet, and there you can't breathe, so you have to wear oxygen mask, and the pilots has only 5 or 10 minutes, I don't remember the exact time, to descend at an altitude where you can breathe.
Is that dangerous if the pilot has to make such a rapid descent?
Maybe if the pilots do an rapidly descent, you can feel not so good, but in that moment I think that you will I'm sure that you don't mind about that.
What should passengers do in the event of depressurization?
The passenger must wear oxygen mask, and in the case there are parents with small kids, they must wear the oxygen mask at first the parents, and then you have to let breathe also the child.
Why do the parents have to do it first?
Because at that altitude you can feel the hypoxia. That is problem you can find when you can breathe normally. You can't breathe normally.
Okay.